11 o'clock Saturday, we have number 20 Oklahoma State and number 7 Texas in the Big 12 title game. Texas is a 14.5-point favorite. Would you believe me if I said that wasn't the largest spread in the Power 5 conference titles? Well, it's true. Before we get to that, though, please leave a like and subscribe. Subscribe is right underneath the video, right beside our name and our logo. And real quick here, our records throughout this year, 2023, Chase sitting atop 47-21. I in the middle at 42-26. Quinn at 39-29 on the year. So good job, fellas. Better than a lot of people on TV. Now, let's get to this game here. Texas winning in, basically, is what it seems like coming into this game. Oklahoma State has had a heck of an up and down season so far. We made a video early in the year about how they should fire Gundy after they got beat by South Alabama. Then they kind of turned it around. They hit a hot streak, and then they lost a couple, and now they're in the conference championship game, which is unreal. Like I said, Texas by 14.5. Quinn, does Texas have what it takes to win by more than 14.5 points or win at all against Oklahoma State?
Win by more than 14.5? I don't think so. I think Mike Gundy and Oklahoma State have kind of made a reputation for themselves about, at least for this season and other seasons as well, tripping up in games that they should win and playing poorly, but then turning around and playing major spoiler for teams that should cover on them. So I think Texas does not cover 14.5. However, I do think they win by double digits. I think Texas is a much better roster than Oklahoma State, and they're going to stress the Cowboys in ways that really no one else that's been on Oklahoma State's schedule has been able to through the air. So give me Texas to win by, I'm going to call it a 10-point W with a late touchdown to secure that lead. So I think Texas has a 3-point lead at 1 point in the game, late in the game, gets a late touchdown, and pulls away late to win by 10 over the Cowboys, win the Big 12. And you said it was a win in your in scenario. Not necessarily. I think the Pac-12 champion's probably in no matter who it is. And so you really need a Georgia, Michigan, or Florida State loss if you're Texas to help get yourself in. So they need to win and get a little bit of help.
Yeah, I think here you got to win convincingly if you're Texas to get into the college football playoffs. For me, though, you mentioned playing major spoiler. I kind of wrote Oklahoma State off early on in the season, lost to South Alabama, lost to UCF late in the season as well. But then they beat Oklahoma. They climbed their way back to the top of the Big 12, get into the second place, and to compete with Texas here. So I'm actually a little bit torn. I think Oklahoma State, I think the 14.5 is crazy. I think Texas is a far superior team, but again, it's crazy. Oklahoma State, when they show up to these games, they end up playing the game of their life and somehow winning. Oklahoma State has an amazing running back in Ollie Gordon II. He's absolutely going to tear through that Texas defense. I think it's going to be a fairly close game. Oklahoma State earlier in the season was 27-24. I think you're going to see it here again. Oklahoma State loses, though. I've got Texas in this game. I think they figure it out late in the game, but they've struggled here lately. They've messed around and played with Houston a little bit too much and some other teams like TCU, and they've got to make a statement win. If they only win by 3 here, I'm personally going to leave them out of the playoffs, but I've got Texas as well. Freddie?
Yeah, I hate that Texas is playing Oklahoma State, and no disrespect to you Oklahoma State fans out there that may be watching this video. I wanted to see Texas and Oklahoma round 2 personally. I think it would have been a better game than this. I've got Texas blowing out Oklahoma State by more than 14.5 points. It would have been a much better game against Oklahoma. I wish Oklahoma State would have lost to BYU last week so that would have happened, as Oklahoma State and Oklahoma are tied in the standings. However, Oklahoma State does have the tiebreaker. So give me Texas to win big in this game.